You know how they always say, don't judge a book by its cover? Well, today, we're going to do exactly that. What if the cover, or in this case, just the title page, is the only clue you have? We're about to go on a pretty unique investigation to see just how much of a story we can pull from a single page of a book we've never even read. So that's our big question for today. I want you to think of this like a detective case. We've got one page, and it is packed with clues. Our job is to piece it all together and figure out the story it's trying to tell us. So yeah, let's get our magnifying glasses out. The investigation starts right now. And here it is. This is our main piece of evidence. Everything we're going to figure out today comes from this single title page. And yeah, for a lot of us, the language itself is a mystery to start with. Let's see what secrets it's holding. Okay, every good investigation needs a place to start. So let's begin with the most obvious clue on the page, that big, bold text right there in the middle. It's time to decode the title. So here's the title in its original Arabic. Now, these words are way more than just a label, right? They're our first and probably most direct clue about what this whole book is about. So what are they actually telling us? And there it is, a quick translation and boom, Cultural Anthropology of Africa. In just a second, we've gone from a script we might not recognize to understanding the book's core subject. So we know it's not just a book about Africa in general, it's a specific academic look at its cultures. But what is cultural anthropology, really? Well, it's the field that studies human cultures. You know, their beliefs, their traditions, their values, how they organize their societies. This pretty much confirms that our book is a serious scholarly dive into the cultural fabric of the African continent. All right, so we've nailed down the what. Now, let's figure out the who. Who actually wrote this thing, and who backed them up? The answers are, believe it or not, hiding in plain sight right on the page. Let's zoom in a bit, right below the title. This part of the page has our next set of really important clues. Who created this work, and the institutions that are behind them. Okay, let's break this down. The author is Dr. Suad Ali Shaban, and it's pretty interesting that she's a female scholar in this field. She's connected to two big-name institutions, the Institute of African Research and Studies and the very well-respected Cairo University. This tells us this isn't just someone's opinion, it's the result of some serious high-level academic work. But wait, we're not done yet. Take a look at that official-looking seal at the very top of the page. That's not just for decoration, you know. It's basically a stamp of authority, and it's full of information about the organizations that supported this research. Ah, this table makes it super clear. So, the seal represents the Department of Anthropology, which is part of the Institute of African Research and Studies. But look at that top line. That institute is actually under the umbrella of the League of Arab States. So this work doesn't just have the backing of a university, but of a major intergovernmental body. Wow, that's a pretty big deal. Okay, so we've got the what and the who. Now it's time for the last piece of our puzzle, the when and the where. Let's put this book into its proper historical and geographical context. Now, look really closely at the very bottom of the page. There's one last little bit of information just waiting for us. It's just a single number, but it's a hugely important clue, 2004. So why do we care so much about a publication date? Well, think about it. A book on this subject from 2004 is going to have a totally different perspective than one from, say, 1954. So what does this specific date tell us when we combine it with all the other clues we found? It tells us this isn't some historical document from a colonial era. Nope, it's a pretty modern piece of scholarship from the early 21st century. And we know exactly where it came from, Cairo, Egypt. That combination, a modern date and a specific, non-Western location, is totally key to understanding this book's unique point of view. So now we've decoded all the major clues from the page. Let's take a step back and put the whole picture together. Why is this particular source and the story it's telling us actually significant? So here it is, the whole story we've managed to build. This is not just any book. It's an academic study of African culture, written in Arabic by a female scholar working out of Cairo University in Egypt and published in 2004. Every single one of those details gives this book its unique identity. And this is where our little investigation leads to something really important. For a long, long time, a lot of the academic writing about Africa came from a Western or global North point of view. But this source, it gives us a view from Cairo, a major intellectual hub in both Africa and the Arab world. The really big question isn't just if this perspective is different, but how its origin completely shapes the story and the analysis inside the book. And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. We haven't read a single word from inside this book, but just by analyzing the context on this one page, we actually understand a ton about its perspective and why it matters. In detective work and in research, the context is often just as important as the content itself. So I'm going to leave you with this to think about. The next time you see a document, a street sign, or even just a label on a product, take a second look. Ask yourself, who made this, where, when, and why? What kinds of hidden stories are just waiting for you to uncover in the sources all around you?